The following is a special presentation of Big Pauly's World of Sports Sims, alternating the reality of sports and entertainment since 2020. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Big Pauly's Fight Night. Big Pauly coming to you from the BP Arena. And we have a quadruple header for you this week's edition. And we're going to take a week off next week, and then we're going to start all over again with the flyweights, moving up to the heavyweights over those next 9 weeks. Now, we usually just do the title fights on Big Pauly's Fight Night, but there was a fight on the undercard, a grudge match for all eternity that I could not pass up showing you. Rocky Marciano against Larry Holmes. When Larry Holmes was vying for Rocky Marciano's undefeated streak record and lost to Michael Spinks, Holmes famously said that Marciano couldn't carry his jock. Well, of course, by that point in time, Marciano had been dead a decade and a half, but through the magic of the Legends of Boxing game, we bring these two together. Marciano and Holmes, this is not a title fight. This is scheduled for 10, and then we will move on to our title fights. These are the 7 and 8 ranked contenders. So whoever wins here, and by the way, we had some preliminary fights. We will get to those in just a moment. Brian London over a gentleman by the name of McClure. We'll mention that before we start our second fight. And Ike Ibeabuchi just didn't knock out, but he just decisioned Evander Holyfield. London won his fight via TKO when the seconds for McClure threw in the towel before the 5th round. So off we go with this first round, which would be an epic contest. Right head combination for Rocky Marciano, 49-0 in his career. Larry Holmes went on and was 69-6 after losing that first fight. Uppercut scores for Larry Holmes, the Easton Assassin. Uppercut scores for Rocky Marciano, the Brockton Blockbuster. Straight punch. Both these fighters throwing punches with bad intentions. Hook for Rocky. Short cross for Rocky. And Rocky seemed to be getting the better of the Easton Assassin. Final minute of the first round. A combination scores for Rocky. And Larry has swelling on his right eye now, so we waste no time cutting out the pleasantries. A cross scores. But this time Holmes does not get cut. And a wild miss, so Rocky easily winning the first round, scheduled for 10. So this is a heavyweight quadruple header. And we just had to show you this non-title fight because it's a historical grudge match. Rocky got the first shot in. We're down to 208 in the second. Body-head combination. He's really beaten Holmes to the punch. Uppercut scores. We're recording this April 2nd, 2022, Final Four in WrestleMania weekend. Even exchange there between the two fighters, but Rocky beating Larry to the punch this early. Holmes finally landing a long straight punch. And that ends the second round. We go to round 3. We'll check in with our unofficial ringside scorecard, combination scoring for Rocky, and a jab blocked by Larry Holmes, and he loved to use that jab and a big reach advantage that he had in his career. Fought a very badly aging Muhammad Ali, and now Rocky has a bloody nose after an exchange. 1:30 left in the third. Body head combination. You bust up Rocky's Marciano, he probably just would come back bigger and badder and better. Hook scores. Looking to me as if Rocky is ahead in this third round. Hook scores for Holmes. And a straight punch. So Larry Holmes might have done enough in the last few seconds to win the third round. And let's check in with our unofficial official. He has Larry Holmes winning all 3 rounds. No, actually, 2 rounds in a draw. We go to the 4th. And Larry continuing the momentum he sustained in the 3rd. Combination to the head by Rocky Marciano. Big time hook for Marciano, and Holmes is stunned. Cross scores for Rocky, and he gets out. Holmes gets out of it. Jab scores for Larry Holmes. Under a minute in round 4. The jab scores for Larry Holmes. And a counter jab there for Larry. Doing a good job in the latter stages of these rounds. Straight punch landing right before the bell for Rocky Marciano. We have played 4 rounds out of 10. And our next 2 fights will be 12-rounders. We got Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston. And for the title, we have Joe Louis and Mike Tyson. We start the 5th. And a jab scores for Larry Holmes, and Marciano swelling on the left eye now. And both fighters blocking and missing. And again, they both block and miss. 2nd minute of the 5th. Hook scores for Rocky. Missed exchange. Both fighters juking and moving. Oh, and a straight punch from out of nowhere, and Rocky may be stunned. But no, he shrugs it off. Final few seconds of round 5, and we will have reached, at the very least, the halfway point. Looked like Larry took the 5th round to my eyes. But I'm not judging this fight. Our unofficial ringside official has Larry Holmes winning 3 of the 5 rounds, the other 2 rounds even. Kind of interesting. Body-head combination. Marciano, if this score is any indication, is going to have to get busy in the 2nd round of the fight. Straight punch for Rocky. Straight punch, and that seemed to stun, and it did Rocky Marciano. The hook scores, and Rocky out of danger. Both fighters blocking and missing. Last minute of the 6th. Straight punch scores for Larry Holmes. Combination. Scores for Rocky. And a hook for Rocky, but I think Larry might have taken that round, so the points piling up for Larry Holmes. I'm going to take a little sip of tea. Thank you for your indulgence. We'll go to the 7th round. Hope you all are doing well out there. I always like to say that on every video because I can't talk to you. Jab scores for Holmes. Marciano may have another cut. Yes, his mouth is bleeding. So he's getting cut all over the place by Holmes. Cross scores for the Easton Assassin. Definitely one of the great boxers of all time. Hook scores for Rock. But Rocky is the only man who in his career went undefeated. And Larry has major swelling on his right eye. So that right eye becoming a little ghastly at this point. Straight punch scores for Holmes. Combination for Rocky. But Larry Holmes could take a punch in his career, and he just shrugs that off. Last few seconds of round 7, and a straight punch, and that might have been enough to win the round. We go to round 8. Holmes seems to be the more tired of the two. Rocky seems to just be getting warmed up. Uppercut for the Brockton Blockbuster. Straight punch. We'll take a look at the card of our unofficial ringside observer. Incidental contact, no foul there. Minute 49 left in the 8th. Now a minute 30. Combination blocked. Combination for Holmes. Oh, a straight punch there. He really flashed the leather. Marciano just shrugs it off like, okay, good shot. Hook scores for the Easton Assassin. And a straight punch for Rocky. And that was about an even 8th round, but on our unofficial observers ring scorecard, Holmes is still way ahead, 4 points with 2 to go. So Rockies might have to get busy in rounds 9 or 10. We don't think the cornerman for Rocky Marciano know that. Of course, Rocky did not probably face the best talent in his career. He faced an aging Joe Louis. And, who did he face? He faced Ezzard Charles. He faced Jersey Joe Walcott. Good fighters, but not excellent fighters. Straight punch for Larry Holmes. Hook to the body. So you could say he was only undefeated because he didn't face good competition, which is kind of the same argument that's used with the 72 Miami Dolphins. Cross scores for Larry. Doing well in this 9th round. Maybe on his way to a decision win if he stays out of trouble. Speak of the devil, Holmes is down! Larry Holmes got rocked, just like he did against Ernie Shavers and Ronaldo Snipes. And he takes his time getting up. And that'll do it for the 9th round. Holmes saved by the bell, and he'll go to the 10th. So that was the highlight of the fight so far. And now, if we take a look one more time at the judges' cards that we have in front of us, that was a 10-8 round. If Marciano can do that again, then he's got a good chance of winning this fight. Oh, and another straight punch. But Holmes shrugging it off, his head clearing. But Marciano really stepping on the gas here at the latter stages of the fight. Maybe the corner now senses that Marciano might lose the fight, even exchange there. Holmes will probably want to finish with a flourish. Jab for Holmes snapped Marciano's head back. A hook for Rocky. Last minute of the fight, if it goes the distance. A short hook for Rocky. May have done enough to win this 10th round. A jab. Last few seconds. And a combination of the body. I think Rocky took the 10th. But it may be no good here. We will have to check on our official scorecard. It has Holmes 97-96. Let's go to the judges and end the speculation. 97-95, 95-94, 96-95. Rocky Marciano wins by unanimous decision. Okay. Didn't see that coming. But it was logical. And you see the fight report there in front of you. We're going to take a 15-second break and set up our next fight. We'll be back in 15 seconds. You're watching the Big Pauly's World of Sports Sims YouTube channel. Grudge match to another here on Big Pauly's Fight Night. Sonny Liston and Muhammad Ali for the United States title, scheduled for 12. Talk about a couple of guys who don't like each other. Sonny Liston 50-4, 2 of his losses to Muhammad Ali, who's 56-5. All of Ali's losses were to men who would become or were champions of the time. And we'll start the first round. Ali feeling a bit disgruntled that he's only going for the United States Championship. Both fighters start with punches. Double jab misses short by Ali. And the fighters jockey for position. They met twice. Ali won twice in 64 and in 65. The second fight fought by many to have been a fix. We're assuming for the purposes of this fight that both fighters are trying to win. And the referee separating the fighters. And Ali looked like he did just enough to win the first round. As I said, we're going for 12. We got Jack Johnson and Gene Tunney fighting each other in our semi-main event for the Americas Championship. A jab misses short. Straight punch landing for Sonny Liston, the big bad bear. Both men landing there. Hook scores for Sonny. And again, both fighters juking and moving. Hook scores for Muhammad Ali, who when he fought Sonny Liston, at least the first time, was known as Cassius Clay. And the jab scores for Sonny. And another jab for Ali. About an even round there. Sonny out of St. Louis and Muhammad Ali out of Louisville, Kentucky. Hook scores by Muhammad Ali. And another hook scores. Jab scores. In our main event, we have Joe Louis against Mike Tyson. Don't think there'll be a lot of scientific boxing when these two meet. And I wouldn't put a bet on that fight going the distance. Fighters jockeying and moving around. Jab scores for Ali. Of course, Ali was a considerable underdog in that 64 fight at Miami Beach, but shocked the world and beat Liston when he would not come out for one of the 15 rounds. I think it was like around round 7 or round 8 combination scores. That fight is on YouTube, and there was a point in that fight. We begin the 4th round. Let's check our ringside observer. He has Ali winning by a point. There was a point in the fight where Ali got liniment in his eyes and couldn't see. And there was foul play alleged against the Liston camp. But Ali weathered the storm, had Liston in trouble by the end of the round. And it was soon after that Liston quit on his stool. And then they fought again in Lewiston, Maine. They were scheduled to fight in Boston. But Ali had his appendix go a little mishpuka on him. So they had to delay the fight so he could get his appendix removed. And when they had that fight up in Maine, and a jab there for Ali, and Ali appeared to have won the 4th round. And that was the fight where Ali threw the short punch and Liston went down and everybody thought it was a fix. And they had Jersey Joe Walcott officiating the fight, missing some of the action between the two fighters. A marginal foul there by Liston. And Ali won that fight, a 1st round knockout, straight punch. And Liston stunned. Combination block, so Liston weathers the storm. Uppercut for Sonny Liston. Of course, Liston beat Floyd Patterson for the title after his 3-bout series with Ingemar Johansson. Hook ducked. And that's an even exchange. Ali looked like he had clearly won the 5th round. Seconds come out for round 6. Cross deflected. So we should have about 5 fight cards for each of the weight divisions through the course of a year. But I'm going to take a week off next week. We'll just do the HGBL baseball on April 9th. And the hook scores for Liston. And the straight punch for Ali. We'll take a look at the scorecard after this, the 6th round. Oh, another solid shot for Ali. Liston shrugged it off, though. He's looking at Ali saying, well, I'm not going down for you this time. Uppercut scores for Sonny Liston. Probably a better effort in this simulated fight than his 2 fights with Ali. But Sonny getting tired. And right now we have Ali up 3 points, 59-56. Liston won the first round, but hasn't won a round since. And the sixth round, our ringside observer thinks was even. We go to the second half of the fight in round 7. Combination to the body on a counter for Ali. The jab scores for Muhammad. Jab again scoring for Ali. Short cross misses for Liston. Referee separating the fighters. Combination for Liston scores. Jab scores. Ali not cut. 32 seconds left in round 7. The fighters juking and jiving. Uppercut by Liston. So like I said, this is probably a better effort from Liston than we saw in the 2 real fights he had with Cassius Clay, a.k.a. Muhammad Ali. We'll go to the 8th round. Jab scores for Sonny Liston. Combination blocked. So when we get to the second stage, hold the phone, we have a cross landing. And Liston again stunned. And the cross scores. Liston's head clears. When we get to the second stage of each of the weight divisions, we'll take the winners, pit them against each other, then we'll take the next highest and pit them against each other. And if we should crown some new champions in stage number 2, so be it. But the world title to me is the big thing. Straight punch for Ali. Double hook for Liston. Ali is in trouble. And who would have thought that? My goodness. Ali was really woozy heading to the stool. After the 8th round, Liston won that 8th round with that shot near the end. And that had Ali in trouble. Liston getting tired. Ali looking like he's just warming up. And could go 20 rounds as opposed to 12. 9th round action from the BP Arena. Cross scoring for Ali, trying to reestablish momentum. Jab blocked by Liston. Cross scores for Ali. Hook scores for Ali. Is he sensing it's time to go for the kill? Even exchange, both fighters landing. Jab lands for Ali. Against some fighters, against Ernie Terrell, if I remember correctly, Ali could have put Terrell away, but Terrell made the cardinal sin of calling Ali Cassius Clay. So he tortured Terrell. He would hit him with punches and say, "What's my name? What's my name? What's my name?" Just to torture him. Could have put him down anytime he wanted to. Let's check our scorecards after 9 rounds. Ali, according to our ringside official, up 3 points. But Liston did take the 8th round. There were even rounds in rounds 6 and 7, and Ali took the 9th. Fighters jockeying for position. Straight punch for Ali. Cross for Ali. Now this is a career composite of Muhammad Ali, so he's taking more punches here. Jab blocked. When he faced Liston in 64 and 65, Hook scored for Liston. He was a much better defensive fighter. Hook scores for Ali, but then again, the latter part of his career, he took a lot of punishment, including that fight where he won the title back from George Foreman in 1974, where he invented the rope-a-dope, where he would deliberately take punishment from Foreman to get him later in the fight. So the 10th round just ended. That went to Ali. He's up 4 points. Liston's going to do something big to win the fight. But he's at least is still in the fight. Cross dodged by Ali. Referee separating the fighters. And again, jab scores for Liston. Of course, Ali in 78 lost the title and then regained it back the same year to Leon Spinks, who had less than 10 fights. Going into that fight with Ali, a fight that was aired on CBS by Brent Musburger and the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. Jab scores. And referee separates the fighters. Yes, Verdi Pacheco worked for CBS before he did NBC, who was Ali's doctor. Liston clearly won the 11th, according to my observing eyes. So Ali is up 3. Liston needs a big round, we would think, in round 12. Straight punch landing for Ali. And a jab on the counter. Straight punch landing for Ali. Doing well in the 12th. Hook ducked by Ali. So Ali just carrying the action. The hook missed short by Ali. And a jab, but he's still doing enough. Referee separating the boxers. Hook scores for Liston. And this one will go to the judges. Our ringside official gave the 12th to Liston, so it ends 116-114 on that card. But we will look to the official results. Oh, one of them had Liston winning. Ali winning on the second and the third, so he wins by a split decision. Muhammad Ali captures the America's Heavyweight Championship of the BPBA. And here is your fight report. We will be back in 30 seconds this time with our third of 4 bouts. Gene Tunney against Jack Johnson. So stand by for that. You're watching the Big Pauly's World of Sports Sims YouTube channel. Down 2 to go. Ali just won the America's title over, not the America's title, the U.S. title over Sonny Liston. The fight we are about to have is for the America's title. And this should be a good scientific bout. Get the slide rule out. Jack Johnson and Gene Tunney. Johnson in his career, 77 wins, 13 losses, 14 either draws or no contests. No, he had 19 no decisions. So the 14 in that third column is draws, 19 no decisions. Out of Galveston, Texas, Little Arthur facing from Greenwich, Connecticut, Gene Tunney. What a career Gene had, 61-1-1, considered one of the best light heavyweight fighters of all time. We had him in a losing effort last week against Billy Conn, and through the magic of modern software, we have him this week going up against Jack Johnson. This fight scheduled for 12. And after this fight, we will have our main event. Joe Louis and Mike Tyson fighting to determine the first BPBA World Championship. Straight cross, straight punch by Tunney starts us off. Jab by Tunney. Be interesting to see. Malicious foul by Tunney. Well, that is not good. Referee admonishing Tunney. We want a good fight. We don't want your bullshit. Even exchange. Jab. Scores for Johnson. And a hook for Little Arthur. Last few seconds of the first round. 9 seconds to be precise, and a jab. I would give Johnson the round on the basis of the foul. And we'll be checking our ringside scorecard by our observer in rounds 3, 6, 9, and 11. Second round, should we go that far? Cross ducked by Tunney, ducked by Johnson. Uppercut scores. No cut. Second round. Jab scores for Tunney. Great weekend. And of course, we got another good weekend next weekend with the start of baseball and the Masters. A tradition unlike any other, the Masters on CBS. Crossed by Little Arthur. Both fighters jockey for position. And both fighters block and missed to end the second round. So I hope you're enjoying this heavyweight quadruple header we have for you. Round 3. Straight punch landing for Tunney. Oh, a combination really rocking Johnson, but he shrugs it off, and we continue on. Both fighters jockey for that position. Combination block. Nothing like the thump-thump of legends of boxing. Tunney seems to be doing better in the third. We'll check our scorecard after this round. Tunney dodging a lot of these shots. Uppercut finally scores for Johnson at the bell. Looks like Tunney's round. We'll see. And after 3, we have 2 even rounds, and our observer gave the second round to Jack Johnson. So he's up 1 point, heading to the 4th. Double jab by Tunney starts us off. Jab dodged. Marginal foul by Jack Johnson. Uppercut scores for Little Arthur, which is what they call Jack Johnson. Even exchange. Hook scores for Johnson. Hook ducked by Tunney. He comes back with a jab. Final seconds of the 4th, and a jab landing for Gene Tunney, who looked like he was slightly better in that 4th round. We go to the 5th. Hook to the body for Jack Johnson. Both fighters jockeying for position. Jab scores for Tunney. Uppercut for Johnson. Jab blocked by Johnson. He comes back. Uppercut to the body. Last minute of round 5. Cross scores for Jack Johnson. Referee separating the fighters. We continue on. Long straight punch at the bell. Lands for Gene Tunney, the Fighting Marine. Give Johnson the round ever so slightly. We'll go to round 6, and then we'll look at the scorecard. Jab scores for Tunney should we complete the 6th round, which I think would be a safe bet in this case. 2 very scientific boxers. Both fighters landing shots there of note. Uppercut to the body blocked by Tunney. Johnson comes back. That cross deflected by Tunney. And Johnson tries again. A jab that was blocked. Missing the short jab there. And the fighters jockey for position in the last seconds of the halfway point of the fight. Incidental contact, no foul. So we're halfway home in this 12-rounder for the Americas title, which is bigger than the U.S. title because this covers North and South America and all the ships at sea. I'm just kidding about the last part. Very close fight on the scorecard. We've had 3 even rounds. Tunney leading by 1 point on that card. Johnson coming out with a cross. Second half of the fight beginning. Unless there's a stoppage, at which point we're definitely more than halfway. Combination blocked by Johnson. Jab scores for Little Arthur. And that's a hook. And in this exchange, a marginal foul by Johnson. Of course, he was chronicled in the 1970 movie The Great White Hope, where James Earl Jones played Jack Johnson. Last seconds of round 7, hook score Tunney encapsulates a very good round for him. This is going to be a very, very tough fight to score, I would think. Round 8 of 12. Uppercut scores for Johnson. And a combination to consolidate that. Jab blocked by Johnson. He comes back with an uppercut. And Tunney is cut with a bloody nose. Our first marking of either fighter in this fight. Hook to the body. Johnson having a good round in round 8. Combination for Tunney. And Johnson shrugs off that blow. Comes back with a good jab. Tunney trying to make a comeback in this round. Hook scores for Gene Tunney. And an even exchange at the bell. Looked like Tunney did enough to win that 8th round, but a lot of these rounds are going to be very, very close between these two. Not too much between them. We owe you a scoring update after this round, round 9. Jab dodged by Tunney. And what do we have here? Another marginal foul for Johnson. Both the referee telling both fighters keep it clean. Jab scores for Tunney, following up the punch he just threw. Hook scores for Tunney, so Tunney on a roll. And a jab. He's piling up the points in this round. Even exchange. Damage mounting for Johnson. Tunney looks the better off of the two fighters at this point. Cross, that was definitely Tunney's round in round 9. He's looking way better in terms of endurance. Johnson looking like he is about to fatigue. So here's your scorecard after 9 rounds. Tunney took the 7th, according to our unofficial official. Johnson the 8th, but Tunney came back, took the 9th. We have had so far. Tunney has only lost 2 of the rounds. Johnson has lost 4 of the rounds, and we have had 3 rounds declared even, 1, 3, and 5. That was a problem with the Leonard Duran fight, where the judges would call a lot of those rounds even. Uppercut scores for Johnson in round 10, straight punch landing. Still anybody's fight at this point. Uppercut scores for Jack Johnson. And the fighters jockey for position. Winner's going to be the America's champ. Probably will be the #1 contender for whoever wins the world title between Lewis and Tyson. Hook scores for Little Arthur. And a combination at the bell. Looked like a good round for Jack Johnson in round 10. Very good fight. And yes, Johnson showing signs of fatigue. Whereas Tunney looks like he could go 12 and not break a sweat. Round 11, I'm being facetious, of course. Grazing jab, Gene Tunney. Cross scores for Tunney. Fighters jockeying for position in round 11. Could Tunney be 2 rounds away, now less, winning the America's title? Cross scores for Johnson. Straight punch misses. Johnson evaded it. Lunging hook for Gene Tunney. And a jab. A good round for Tunney in round 11. If he survives these next 3 rounds, I would think the fight is his. But on our unofficial judges scorecard, he has Johnson taking rounds 10 and 11, and he has it dead even going to this, the 12th and final round. Cross scores for Gene Tunney. Stick and move combination for Tunney. Both fighters need the 12th round to win the fight, I would think. Jab misses. Juking and moving. Tunney still with the lead. Another jab there. Tunney doing a good job in round 12, our final round of this fight. Then we go to our main event of main events, the fight for the World's Heavyweight Championship of the PPBA after this. And there is the bell to end the fight. The fighters hug. And now we will determine who has won the fight. And this could be very, very close. Tunney on one judge's card. On a second judge's card, it's going to be a majority decision win for Gene Tunney. And here is your fight report. So he is the America's champ, and he could be the #1 contender in all likelihood, going into stage 2 10 weeks from today, if things work out well, Lord willing, and if the creek doesn't rise in the next 70 days for me. And it was 49-33 if you total up the aggregate points. One judge had it even, 115-115. So when we come back, it's the big one. It's our heavyweight fight between Joe Louis and Mike Tyson to determine the first BPBA World Heavyweight Championship. You're watching the Big Pauly World of Sports Sims, Big Pauly's World of Sports Sims YouTube channel. Gotta get that apostrophe in there. If you like the video you're watching, feel free to use the Amazon link provided. I'll put it in the description down below. And here we go, folks, the culmination of stage 1. We have had 53 fights in the BPBA, mostly amongst top 10 fighters. But this is the one you have all been waiting for, Joe Louis against Mike Tyson for the World's Heavyweight Championship. And this will be a big one. And I don't think it will go the distance. We're scheduled for 15. In fact, just let me double check that. Yes, it is. And off we go. Joe Louis out of Detroit, Michigan, 68-3. Iron Mike Tyson, 56-2. Two of those losses to Evander Holyfield, one on a wild disqualification back, I think it was 1997 when he bit the ear of Evander Holyfield. And Louis is 68-3. Tyson also lost to Lennox Lewis in his career. Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson in what was one of the great upsets of all time. But he has done enough here to be considered the number 2 contender. He's out of Catskill, New York. Was originally trained by Customato, and off we go. Combination by Louis. I'm expecting to see quite a few haymakers in this fight. Hook to the body. Louis establishing dominance on Tyson, but Tyson coming back with a huge uppercut. Hook scores for Louis. If this goes the distance, I would be surprised. A hook landing for Tyson. Because both these guys could flash the letter. 54 knockouts for Louis, 44 for Tyson, so 98 between them. 38 seconds left in the first round. The first big punch lands for Tyson. And Louis is stunned. And a cross right back for Tyson. No, I'm sorry, a cross right back for Louis. And that was a very even first round as Tyson landed a big shot and then Louis landed a big shot at the end of round 1. Round 2 for the World Heavyweight title. Hook to the body. Scores for Tyson. Jab blocked by Tyson. Which fighter will have better defense? A solid shot for Louis. Tyson is stunned. And back and forth we go with this one. Both men landing shots there. Uppercut for Tyson. Louis comes back with the short cross. The Bronx Bomber. Wait a minute. The Brown Bomber is what Louis was. Body head combination for Louis. And a combination. Louis having the better of the 2 rounds. Another hook! And Tyson staggered at the bell to end the second round. What a round for Joe Louis. And this is what I was expecting. Both fighters giving their all early. And you're going to see some bombs thrown in this fight, I'm thinking. So we go to the third. We will check with our ringside observer after every 3 rounds. And then should this fight go 14, after the 14th round, we'll look there too with 1 round to go. Hook scores for Joe Louis. Uppercut! And Tyson again stunned. Cross. Tyson still wobbly. Cross scoring again. And Tyson's going to weather the storm, at least this time. 138, round 3. Combination blocked by Lewis. Uppercut scores for Tyson, but Lewis getting the better of it, at least early on in this fight, which might be all he needs. Hook scores for Tyson. Last few seconds of the third, another combination. Tyson just shrugged that off, but he's getting rocked in these first 3 rounds. Landed the first good shot of the fight, but Lewis has had every good shot since. And we look at our unofficial official here, and he has Lewis up 2 rounds to 1. We got a long way to go. 4th round. And no foul there. Body head combination for Joe Lewis. And the combination. Both fighters landing there. 4th round. Body block by Tyson. Uppercut. And Tyson again stunned. I don't know how much longer can he take punishment. Combination by Tyson. But Lewis shrugging that off. Like I said, you're going to see some bombs thrown in this fight. Hook for Tyson. And a marginal foul at the bell by Joe Lewis. You just want to take your breath at this point before we head to round 5. Lewis with 9 power and Tyson with 10. So this fight can almost end at any moment. Cross scores for Lewis. We're just waiting for that next big blow to be delivered. Tyson with a combination to the body. Lewis comes back with a body head combo. Uppercut scores for Tyson, who's taken a lot of punishment in the first few rounds. Hook ducked by Tyson. Hook scores for Tyson. He's having probably the best round he has had in the fight. Short hook ducked by Tyson, showing some boxing ability. Jab by Tyson at the bell. Kind of wonder if Lewis has punched himself out. And Tyson really looking like he is fatigued. And we're only at the end of round 5, folks. Lewis looking a little bit the better. Even exchange to start round 6. We owe you another scorecard peek at the end of this round. You got to wonder what will happen next in this fight. A combination for Tyson. Lewis coming back with the cross. Uppercut scoring for Tyson. Tyson really has to find his range. Hook for Lewis. And Tyson again stunned. He's taking way too much punishment. Combination. Tyson's head clears a little bit. 28 seconds left in the 6th. Uppercut to the body for Tyson. He's not able to stand up very well to the pressure Joe Lewis is bringing to the table. Looks like Lewis won the 6th round if we get that far to where the scorecard's going to mean anything. And we have Lewis leading by 2 as we start the 7th round. Hook scores for Lewis. Lewis just looks like he's taking his time now. Being patient, looking for the openings. Flagrant foul for Mike Tyson, and what else would you expect from him? No other admonishment given, but no deductions or anything like that. Uppercut to the body for Mike Tyson. Combination to the head by the Brown Bomber. Straight punch dodged by Tyson. Cross blocked by Tyson. So Tyson's having his moments. Uppercut to the body. Combination to the body, and that does it for the round. Tyson looked a little better in the 7th round, but he is fatiguing at an alarming rate. And you gotta wonder how long Tyson can survive as we head to round 8. Hook for Lewis. And another hook. He's definitely dictating the pace to Tyson. Incidental contact, no foul assessed. Fighters juking and moving. Both fighters block and miss. Cross out of nowhere. And Tyson is down. We'll just watch it. 5, 7, 8. No, Tyson gets up just at the count of 9. About 8.9 on that count. But Tyson in serious trouble now, having been felled now for the first time in the fight, but he has taken a lot of punishment. Combination for Lewis. Can't land a solid shot, and Tyson's head clears enough to weather the storm here in an 8th round that sees Tyson hit the mat for the first time. But Tyson continuing to deteriorate here as we go to the 9th round. If we get out of the 9th, I owe you another look at the scorecard. Hook scores for Tyson. Tyson still has the power to change the fight. Uppercut on a counter for Lewis. And a hook for Lewis. Hook for Lewis. Tyson has sustained a lot of punishment, and you gotta wonder how long it'll be before this fight is stopped and Tyson will be spared. You see that TKO number at 8. Flagrant foul from Mike Tyson. Again, disappointing. Cross! And Tyson again stunned, but he gets out of the 9th round. No, they're going to stop it. They may stop it here. They're looking. And Tyson able to continue on. Tyson able to continue on, but he's taking a battering as we draw to the close of the 9th round. He's really getting licked. And on the score sheet or scorecard you see here, Lewis is up 5 points. He should seriously look into stopping this fight on behalf of Tyson's welfare. Hook for Lewis. Tyson with the uppercut. Combination for Tyson. You have to even wonder how much sting is on these punches thrown by Tyson. He's in that bad a shape. Cross scores for Lewis. I think a lot of fans just want to see the fight stopped, conceding that Lewis is the better man tonight. Uppercut scores for Tyson. He almost won the 10th round. Lewis by a whisker in the 10th. And now Lewis showing signs of fatigue. So this will be a very interesting last 5 rounds, should we get that far. I don't think Tyson ever had a 15-round fight. Maybe once in his career. He has gone 15. But anyway, let's go to the 11th. Combination for Tyson. His power number down to 4. Uppercut scores. And the referee separating the boxers. Uppercut scores for Tyson. Against all odds, he's putting some points together. Even exchange. And a hook for Lewis. Not flashing the leather as much as we saw in the early rounds. Even exchange there at the bell. I think Tyson took the 11th round. We owe you another look at the scorecard after this, the 12th round, should we go through it. Referee separating the fighters. Both fighters getting arm weary now. Hook scores for Tyson, so now it's looking increasingly likely it could go the distance. Body-head combination. And marginal foul there by Lewis. Big combination for Lewis, and again Tyson is staggered. Will they stop this fight? Relentless pursuit. Tyson down again. And we'll just watch. I wouldn't be shocked if this ends right here. 8. Oh, Tyson. Tyson showing tremendous courage. Maybe too much courage for his own good. Gets up. I'm sure he will be looked at closely by our referee. Tyson covering up kind of nicely in the 12th round here. Solid hooks for Lewis, and an even flurry there at the bell, but Lewis very dominant in round 11. Round 12, I beg your pardon. So we owe you another look at the scorecards. Took a lot out of Lewis to try to get him down in that 12th round, but Tyson, as the Elton John song would say, is still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you see the scorecard here. Lewis up a bunch of points. Tyson's going to have to knock Lewis out if he can. Jab for Lewis, but Tyson hanging around. Cross by Lewis. Tyson shrugging that volley off. Uppercut scores for Tyson. And you got to wonder if Lewis could get hurt to the point where he may be in trouble. Combination for Tyson. But he's got to focus on trying to knock Lewis down. Speak of the devil. A solid shot there by Tyson against all odds. Lewis weathering that storm. 46 seconds in a dandy fight here. 13th round. We didn't think this would go that far. Combination for Lewis. Last few seconds of the 13th. And an even exchange there at the bell. So Lewis having his moments, but Tyson winning over the crowd with his courage. And both fighters rapidly deteriorating as we head to the 14th. And we'll look at the judges' cards again, or our unofficial judges' card. Cross to start off the 14th for Joe Lewis, and another one. Tyson just becoming a punching bag at this point, but he's still hasn't been marked in this fight, but he's taken a lot of shots to the head. Hook for Lewis, whose TKO number is 14 at this point, but he's still standing. Combination by Tyson. Hook scores for Lewis. And an even exchange there. Tyson's going to get out of the 14th. Hook scores for Lewis. And we go to the 15th and final round. We have Lewis way ahead. 6 points. Tyson has won on this judge's card 4 rounds. But Lewis has won 2 10-8 rounds. Combination for Joe Lewis, who looks like he just has to survive the 15th to win the world title. Double jab by the Brown Bomber, who I accidentally called the Bronx Bomber earlier in this fight. Uppercut for Tyson. Combination for Tyson. Hook for Lewis. Last minute of the fight. I never thought it would go this far. Both fighters blocking and missing. Hook scores for Lewis at the bell. We went the distance. Remarkable that it went this far. Well, it looks like a slam dunk. Lewis will win the fight. Let's see. Unanimous decision by 7 points, and by 10 points. Joe Lewis is your World Heavyweight Champion of the BPBA. Let's show you the fight report. This one was not close. Tyson went down twice in the fight, but he kept getting to Lewis. Lewis racked up 7 TKO points, and Tyson wound up with 15. And there was a few fouls in the fight. So there you go. Joe Lewis is your brand new World Heavyweight Champion, and we have completed a stage in this fight. And we will come back in 2 weeks' time for stage number 2 of the flyweights. You see the rankings there. We're looking at Lewis and Tunney in 10 weeks for the World Heavyweight title. Well, I hope you enjoyed this first stage of fights. 54 fights. We have televised somewhere in the neighborhood over 20 of them here on the Big Pauly's World of Sports Sims YouTube channel. And I hope you have all enjoyed it. Until we meet again tomorrow with OOTP Perfect Team, the Professional Wrestling Tour, and NBA 75-76, this has been Big Pauly wishing you all Godspeed and God bless. We will do it again soon, and bye bye for now, everybody.